Okay, everything seems to be good to go. I hope. Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks. I did miss a few weeks on the regular schedule here, so that's unfortunate. Where is it? Den of Fortune. The reason for that, well, is part of it is that I was just really unmotivated to do the work that I need to do is prep for this episode. So as you can see here, I have generated 227 images. There's actually 224 because today I want to be making a mini-map. This is just sort of a mask I was using for measuring in the main game to see how much space it's going to take out. And that's just a single tile. And these are what the map's going to look like. So for example, this room, you can exit from the left or the right, and it is the boss room. So there's a crown in there. And if we look at monster, for example, this room will have the statue in it, and exits to this to the down. I think that's what I'm doing, right? Up, down, left, right. North, south, out, left, right. I don't. Oh man, it's been too long. I don't even remember. Anyway, right, south. Yeah, right and south. Right and south are the exits here, and there's a statue. This one has a red background in the color. That means there are still monsters in this room. This is actually, I guess, something I've sort of taken from Drawd, where the room color will change when the room no longer has monsters in it. But then the actual elements inside the rooms themselves, you know, stairway, things like that. Everything else will be in here. All right, they're going to be after monster. Tome. All that. Okay. And then finally, one more graphic here, just as a little indicator. This is the same dimensions as something on the minimap. So this will go over top of the location where the party is at any given time, because I think that'll be helpful to have as well. So I have no idea how long this is going to take to implement all of this. But I do really think that for a game like mine, especially with a random... Oh right, I was testing some things. Well, that's good actually that that's on there. I could show something. So with a game like mine, where the dungeon is randomly generated, we don't know what's going to be... what am I doing? Talking and doing things is hard, okay? We don't know what the layout's going to be like. So I think it would be very helpful to have a mini-map that keeps track of where you are. Oh, I don't recognize this. I'm just going to play this out. Stairs down. Yep, dead end, of course. Now here's the boss. More monsters. Statue room. Okay, tome there. More monsters, and then the final row here, final column. Monster, monster, monster. We need some treasure, don't we? Another tome. Monster, dead end. Treasure, there we go, okay. Yeah. So anyway, this is where I'm going to be putting the mini-map, I think. Now this is the full size of the mini-map, with the mini-map going 5 rooms across and 4 rooms down. That's what it looks like when it's filled out. Now, because this is random, including where the entrance and exit is located, I don't want the player to know where they are on the mini-map necessarily. When they just have a single room. So I want it to be centered with a single room. And then as you explore, the combined rooms will shift around a little bit. So hopefully I can figure out a way to get that to work the way I would like. One other point about having the mask here for now. I'm going to be removing that, but something to consider. Since I'm getting the rooms, the underlying systems done before I'm doing the I guess, the real meat of the game, which is going to be the room contents, monsters, encounters, treasure, all that kind of stuff. Since I'm getting the underlying systems done first, this tells me that if I've dedicated this amount of space for the minimap, all of my rooms should either have this cut off, or maybe they should be cut across here and I should use this space for some other UI element. I don't know. I don't know what other UI I want. The other option, I suppose, is to have a key coded to toggle the minimap on and off. That would be another way, and then I can have stuff. But then that seems like the kind of cheap trick that developers did with a lot of old games, where you'd put like a treasure chest right here, and it would be covered by the minimap. I don't really want to do that kind of thing. So you have to remember to toggle the minimap on and off. So I think I'd rather just design it so that every room doesn't use this space. So I'm going to wall this off in every single room, I think. I suppose another option would be to make this somewhat transparent. I wonder, can I do that with images? Actually, instead of that, let's... Okay, Steam, why are you doing something? Why are you doing something now? I don't know. Okay, minimap. Yeah, opacity. Okay, very, very easy. So I could have a transparent minimap. That would be another thing to do. And still probably not have anything in the corner, but if I'm going to be doing a transparent minimap like this, that might be okay. Anyway, I'm not worrying about the actual room architecture or geometry just yet, so yeah. Anyway, we'll stick with that for now. So, where do I want to start with this? I have a paper file that I've done, which has a bunch of notes on how I want to be doing various things. I think the first step is just to get a working minimap and not worry about centering it. So with that in mind, common events. Well, okay, the very first thing actually I should be doing here is looking at this. So the minimap starts at 600 pixels across and 24 pixels down. If I go to my file here, and I don't have a minimap section in this yet, so I'm going to just put some notes here for now. Minimap starts at 624. What did I just do? I just did a control 0 instead of a shift 0. Okay. Minimap starts at 624. Rooms are... what are the dimensions here? Did I write this down? I did. The rooms are 100 pixels by 64 on the minimap. So, and if we look at one of these rooms, that's 100 across, 64 down for the dimensions on there. And okay, so we can calculate from this that a room's x coordinate equals 600 plus nx, where nx is how many over it is. Let's actually just write this out. Plus 100. Let's just write this out in a more sensible fashion. 100 times number. Okay. And number, what is number? Well, you go from okay. We're going to copy that because we need to find this. Implementation. Right, because I did this before. So we'll just do it under here for now. Okay. So starting with room 1, 600 is this column, 700, 800, 900, 1000, depending on which column they're in. Times. So how can I calculate which column it's in? We'll just put pause for now, and then we'll calculate pause in a moment. There's a way to do that with math. Y coordinate equals 24 plus 64 times pause y, pause x and pause y. Okay. Good. So pause x equals, let's not capitalize that, thank you very much. Pause x equals, well, we need to be able to calculate the room number to get this in. So this is going to be n, which is going to stand for which of these 20 numbers it is. N divided by 5. What does that give us? So if we're in room 19, that gives us 3. No, we want mod. We want mod here. N mod 5. So if we're in room 19, this would give us 4. If we're in room 12, this would give us 2. If we're in 8, it would give us 3. Okay. So in N mod 5 minus 1. Okay. N mod 5 minus 1. And that way, wait, we're going to have a problem with 5, because if 5 is 0, yeah, because 5 mod 5 equals 0. Okay. So we need to calculate in here if we can just put an if in statement here. If pause x equals 0 plus equal 5. Okay. So if we have 5, 10, 15, or 20, this will give us 4 now, because we're making pause x equal to 5. 4, because this minus 1 is part of the calculation. Let's make sure, let's run through this again, just make sure we have the numbers right before we start actually trying to implement this. We have, so for example, we have number 2 is our number. 2 mod 5 equals 2. 2 minus 1 equals 1. That means we have to skip 1 x coordinate for the map starting position. Okay, so that is good. So then 2 would start at 700 on the x coordinate. Now, let's say 15. 15 mod 5 is going to be 0. Minus 1 equals negative 1. If cos x equals negative 1, then we go plus equals 5. Yeah, because we want the answer to be 4. Okay. If this answer equals negative 1, starting here, we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. Good. And pos y we can calculate the same way. Pos y equals, and this is going to be, so n, again, stands for the room number. But in this case, what we want is how many steps down it is. So mod doesn't give us what we want. We want just divide by 5, I think. And divided by 5, what happens? Okay, I'll do this. N minus 1 divided by 5. Okay. N minus 1 divided by 5. So let's look at room number 1. This will give us 0 divided by 5, which equals 0. 5 will give us 4. Right, 5 minus 1. So 4 divided by 5, which is 0. Because computers don't calculate, with the basic computer division, you don't calculate a decimal, you just ditch any remainder. You don't round, you just get rid of the remainder. So this way, because we're putting the minus 1 in here to handle the 5 case, because we want all of these to be the same. Then 6 minus 1 is 5, 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10, 9 divided by 5 is still 1. 11, 10 divided by 5 is 2, okay. So we have 0, 1, 2, and 3 going across for the rows here. So our y position is equal to n minus 1 divided by 5. Okay, and we don't even need an if statement or anything. I wonder if we can clean up x to make this nicer. But anyway, y works out very nicely. And then, yeah, so, and then it even gives us the right values right away. We don't need to modify this at all. So if we have 0, 64 times 0 is 0, so we just have 24 pixels. But if it's 1, add 64. You know, keep adding that. Okay. 0, 3. Okay, so pos y, I'm very happy with that. Pos x, I want to look at one more time. See if I can find a better way of doing this. If we subtract... if we subtract 1 here before, I don't think you can. Like, that's the issue is... no, I guess, okay, so we'll just leave it like that. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that, okay. Okay. So the first thing to do... we can keep an event that does nothing as long as we give it a special name. Okay. Well, actually, I mean, we could probably... I don't know why I'm checking, but yeah, as long as we hit apply, we can keep the event. That makes sense. All right. So we have a Minimap handler here. We want to calculate this room's x and y coordinates. Okay. So I need to... re-familiarize myself with my script. It's only been 2 weeks, but I need to remember how this works as far as array, counter, and stuff goes. Oh boy. No, that's... These are not useful. Blockage initialization. Yes, this is necessary because... Okay, this is necessary. Is it array index? Let's... Oh. Where is it? F12? No. Isn't it one of the F functions? I thought it was. Why are none of those working? What I'm trying to do is bring up the list of all of my variables. Oh, it's probably because we go under plugins. Yanfly probably. Since we're not actually using any of these just yet. Okay. That probably disabled the code. Interesting. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe not. Okay, I don't know. I don't know why I can't bring up that screen. Just having one of those moments, I guess. Oh, I can... see. Whatever. Whatever. We have another way we can do this. So, and I'm a little bit irritated by this. I can't remember how to do this. But instead, we'll just use the boy again. The level 1 room array is, and he shows variable 11. Okay, so what does he have to say if we talk to him? That's the order of the rooms, right? Which means that room 1, which is the entrance, will be in the top left, right? In the position of room 2. This is going to be a corner. And if we go all the way down, yeah, so that was the top row. Did it again, top column. And yeah, we can go all the way to 5. Okay. Yep. So it looks like, whoops, that mouse accuracy. All right, so variable 11 is where we've stored all of this information. That's what I needed to know. I should probably... Where do I want to put this? Probably very near the top, actually. So I'll need to... This is a good learning experience here. Write down what all your variables are and what exactly they do somewhere in your design document. That will save you a lot of trouble in the future. Oh, okay. I need to open that, but whatever. So we are using, we actually do want this open. We are using 11, variable 11, to determine where our where the rooms are. So we are currently in variable 11 here. So okay, cancel. So these, if we look at them, we start with ID 4 and goes down to 23. I did write this out somewhere. Oh yeah, it even shows down here. Okay. So room 4, we have to subtract 3 from our current room. So room ID minus 3 equals where we should be in the array. All right, so with that in mind, again, we're going to go here, full variable. Yeah, these are things I'm using for other things. We're just going to use temp until I figure out exactly what I'm doing. If we need to use a different variable for this, that's fine. The constant variable equals okay, we're gonna use a script for this. So where is my value? Value. This is what I want. Something like this. And we're setting variable 1, and we're going to set it to we want to set it to 11 n, where n is current room ID minus 3. So we can calculate all of this. Variable 11. Okay. Game variables dot value, like that. That's what we're looking for. So here we want $. Game variables dot value and 11. And we want the index here. And the index is going to be, I think, also game variables. Dot value 1. Okay. Which means we have to change that to something else. So before we do that, control variable temp equals game data map ID. Temp equals itself minus 3. And that will get us 4 goes to 1. 1 is what we've got. Unfortunately, if I look at this now, I think I've actually done 2 different things. So I've calculated what I want, but we want to find... Right, we're going to have to do a loop to go through the array and check everything until we get something that equals temp. Okay. So counter, inverted counter, and array index. I could do all of these again. Rather than repeat everything, I'm actually just going to go down to here where we do all of this. We have counter equals something. We'll just copy all of that. So counter equals, we actually want this to be equal to 0. Counter equals 0. Wait, it's weird that it goes above instead of underneath. I don't know why. It just, I guess you can't get underneath, but you also can't drag and move them. Like, the interface isn't as friendly as it could be. But anyway, so now that we've done this, we're now actually getting a variable 2. So what we're doing now is we're looking at counter. I guess technically this would actually be an index, wouldn't it? But it's fine. It could be counter for the loop or an index for this, so that's okay. So now that we have the counter here, we want to set our loop to compare temp. We just need multiple temp variables for this, is what's going on here, which isn't a surprise. Surprised I was able to actually get the map generation with a single temp variable, but I guess counter and all these other things are essentially temp variables as well. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do in the loop, we're going to get rid of those. Okay, inverted counter and all that. We don't need that either. We also don't need those. Like, why did I copy this? I'm not actually using any of this. Okay. So counter plus equals 1 is going to be the last part of this loop. So before that, control variables. Value taken from array. Okay, we'll just use that. That value 6. Okay. So what this line of script is doing is it's taking the game variable, which is 11, which is our array, which has the list of all of the rooms in our dungeon. And it is taking the variable 2, counter, so it's taking the 0th position, which is the first element of that array, and it is putting that into variable 6, taken from array. Now, we're going to conditional branch if, where is it? If variable, value taken from array, equals variable temp, right? Because temp is our map ID. So if these two are equal, then we're done. Break loop. Otherwise, you go control variable, counter plus equals 1, and that's going to check the next element in the array. We go repeat above, so we go back to the loop, and we check again, but now we're checking the second element of the array and then the third element of the array. We're going to keep doing that until temp equals counter. If counter equals 20. Counter equals 20. Break loop because we have an issue. That means it's gone through. In fact, show text error room ID not found in array while checking for minimap. Typing is hard. Okay. Really? Okay, well, I mean, it's cut off. That's totally fine. I don't mind. I'm just surprised that of the thing. Okay. So we'll play that if we don't find anything. Oh. Let's put the break loop after the warning so that we actually see it. Okay, break loop, break loop. So at this point now, counter is, so let's assume it's the very first element in the array. Counter is equal to 0 at this point, and that corresponds to 1, because these, again, I was considering this, if I were to redo everything from the very start, I would do this array from 0 to 19 instead of from 1 to 20, so that this matrix, I guess, rather than array, it's two dimensions. Yeah, so this matrix, I would have calculated it from 0 to 19 instead of from 1 to 20. So that is going to be off by 1, which means that the actual number that we have that we're using for these calculations. So yeah, so what we found here. Let's do that over a little bit more. Get all that. Okay. So what we found here is we found n, essentially. Or pos x, pos y. Yes, n. We're calculating n. So at this point, counter plus equals 1. Counter is now equal to the actual room. So if it was in index 0, we found it in position 1, etc. Which means that this actually should be 19, because wait, no, this is 20. That's, you're causing problems again. Right, because we're adding the 1 before we do this. Let's just not do that. Let's do something a bit more sensible. Put that at the bottom. So yes, if we're at counter equals 20, that means that we've gone through this, because when counter equals 19, we're checking the last element of the array. So we add 1. No, this actually should be underneath. That makes sense. Yeah, so if we're adding 1 to 19, we get 20, which is outside of our array. We can immediately break the loop. Okay. I mean, it only saves us like 1 extra calculation. It's not that big a deal if we do it wrong. It's not that wasteful, but still, we'll do it in the proper order. Okay, so here, now, counter. At this point, comment. Okay, let's just save this. Have I been commenting? Have I commented anything? Comments. Okay, here I have a comment. Yes, I need to have them all formatted exactly the same way. This is absolutely essential. At this point, comment. Oh, can I not do that? Okay, variable 2 equals the equals n, the position in the array of current room. Okay. So now we need to calculate Two more positions. We need an X and a Y. So control variables. And at this point, I have map X and map Y. What do I use those for? I feel like I don't want to mess with this. Map X and map Y, I know what I use those for. I use those for here. Yeah. Which is fine because they're always going to be reset every time I need to use them. So I mean, I could use them, but it's dangerous to start using them for things. But again, if it's only being used as a temp variable, it should be fine. Every usage of these two variables has been as a temp variable. So I guess we'll stick with that. So at this point, we have variable map X is equal to what? Take is equal to, well, we have to do a bunch of different calculations all at once here. So it's equal to counter. Wait, right? Counter is n at this point. So we do counter. Actually, while I'm here, I might as well just write this little bit of code in here as well. Pause X, map X, calculating. Map X, oops, equals n divided by 5 minus 1 if map X equals -1. I could just make it instead of doing plus equals, I could have done just equals 4. That would have been the same. Map Y equals map Y equals, all right, this is the easy one, n minus 1 over 5. Okay. Good. Yeah. Did I... Can I not? Oh, I see. Fine. Be that way. I'm only allowed to have 6 rows for comments. There we go. I could just do a separate comment. That would actually make more sense. But this is fine. Okay, so map X equals counter. Okay, next, map X mod 5. Okay, next, map X subtract 1. Conditional branch if variable map X equals -1. You add 5. Okay. So that should cover map X. Map X should now be what we need for pause X here. Okay. So next, map Y. And again, we didn't modify counter at all, so that's fine. Starting from the same place. We're going to start by subtracting 1. Subtract 1. And then we're going to divide it by 5. Okay. So at this point, map X and map Y are both equal to this. So now Now we comment make adjust to proper minimap position. So x, we want it to be equal to on screen. So its x coordinate of the room is going to be 600 plus 100 times map x, and y is going to be equal to 24 plus 64 times map y. Okay. And again, we're just using map x and map y for these. We can then go map x, which is currently this, constant multiply by 100. That gets us here, and then we have to add 600. Add 600. Okay, good. So we are now in the correct position on the map, and this is going to lead us to that green rectangle that you see when I'm playing in the game. So x is now in the right location, and y, oh, let's just copy this. That'll be easier. Just change the variable. Okay, map y multiplies by 64, and then add 24. Yeah. Okay. So at this moment, we now know, using all of this, what the position of the minimap, of the room on the minimap, should be based on where we are in this particular room. Okay, so we're going to copy everything, and we're going to put this into a common event, because this is something that we're going to want to be calling in every room that we enter. This is going to be minimap position calculator. Okay. Apply, yes. Love my common events. Okay, so I should be getting better at this. So what does this do? This doesn't take any inputs, does it? It takes... Okay. The input that is being used in this is input variable 11 array of room indices. Is that how you spell that? Never actually tried to spell that word. Index plural. And English pluralization is a huge mess, by the way. There are all sorts of weird rules involved in there. And as somebody who speaks a language that doesn't use pluralization at all, it's, You know, it's really not necessary. Anyway, it is what it is. What are we doing here? Outputs. Right, we don't need this. We're gonna go output. This is just for future reference so that I can understand what this is doing at a glance. This is gonna be map x, which was what variable? Variable 9, I think it was. Map x. And variable 10 map y. Okay. Can I put spaces in this? Will it read them? If I do? It will. Okay, nice. All right, and it's using a nice font where every single character, including the space, is equal in width. Beautiful. Okay. So this is our Minimap position calculator. And let's just double check that I am actually referencing the right variables, 9 and 10. Okay. So to avoid any potential future confusion there. So now we go to this. Now we can actually delete all of this because that all exists in the common event, and instead we just want to call common event. Common event, right? It doesn't say call anymore. I think in VX8 it might have said call common event here. I might have changed that. There we go. So I now have my X and Y positions for the minimap. So what do I do with those? Well, we need to figure out internal wall randomizer. Right, so if I remember correctly, control variables 21, level 1 blockages, yes, and this was modified to include not just the outer border, but also all of the interior walls. So this is everything that we have here. All right, so with this in mind, we're going to want to do the same thing that we did in the common event, where we use a loop. And I could probably... Oh, actually, I should just be making this into a... common event at this point, shouldn't I? Okay, let's do that. Yes, we'll discard the changes. Alright, so what is this doing? This is find room position in pause in array. Find room position in array. And this is just going to do this. All right, so this error is now just room ID not found in an array, because this can be called for multiple purposes, not just for the minimap. And that means if I go here, common event, find room position in array, do that, and now we want to take out this whole loop. Okay. But we do want that extra +1 at the end because that was an additional calculation that we had to do. Yep. Okay. So now we've saved this, and I really want to have easy access to like what are actually being outputted here. Input is 11, room of array indices. Output is just the counter. Output is variable 2, counter. Counter, comma, indicating index in array. Of array, let's do. Of the array? No, in array is going to be technically better, I think, in this context. Yeah, not a good grammar day. Index in array, yeah. Okay. Counter is the index, which is not the same as the actual room here. But okay, so we're getting the index in variable 2. So if I look at this now, again, we're just going to comment. It was just this, wasn't it? Output variable 2 index in array. Okay. So now we just know, so we know what we have to work with. So at this point, variable 2 is equal to the index in the array of our current room, which we can use to calculate the x and y positions if we need to. But we don't need to just yet, because instead what we're going to do is we're going to take the variable well, actually, we're going to have to take it from an array, because now what we want to do is we want to look at variable 21. I didn't really need to copy this. So variable 21 is the blockages. Do another comment here. Let's do variable 21 array of blockages in rooms. Okay. So we want to extract a number from here. Okay. So we'll use temp again. And what are we setting it to? We're setting it to $, game variables. Whoops. Is it just dot value? Dot value. How do I read from an array again? Like this. Yep, dot value. Okay. Dot value, and then we have to have the variable, which is going to be 21, because that's our array of blockages, and index is going to be 2, because that's the index that we're using here. And both of these arrays have the same rooms are referenced in the same positions, I hope. Otherwise we're going to have a problem, but we'll see that very quickly in testing. But I'm pretty sure that's how I did it. That's why I'm using these arrays, just to keep this consistently accessible, although I do have these extra little steps I have to do. All right, so at this point, temp is equal to the blockage value that's been extracted from this array. Right, and now we have to calculate using this. Remember, we did this before. Why are we setting this to 21? No, we don't want this. Okay. We're not modifying blockage array. Okay, so we want to extract the numbers based on this. So depending on what value we get, if we get 15, it means everything is blocked. Okay, I don't need to do any more divisions or calculations or anything like that. This is just telling us what the numbers actually refer to. So now, unfortunately, the way I've set this up, I think I might have a ton of really dull and repetitive work ahead of me. So I'm probably going to do that off camera, but I'm gonna do enough that I can test it to make sure that it actually works, and then I'm not going to actually go through it all on camera. Because similar to like how making all these images, for example, this took several hours. Oh, actually, that's the thing I could show you. Actually, it might be interesting. I go into GIMP here. While I'm thinking about this, open recent, because I was just doing this Minimap cell generator. Okay. You know, work smart, right? Try to minimize the amount of effort that you're putting into anything. So I have my basic walls, my basic floor. So this is an empty room with exits all 4 directions. This is the same room, but there are still monsters. I don't know if it's going to be random encounters. I think I might do random encounters for this as opposed to placed encounters, but I have several ideas on how I'm going to make that less painful than just infinite random encounters every 2 steps. But I'll worry about that, how exactly the monsters is gonna function in the future. For now, we're just going to ignore it. We don't have monsters yet. But anyway, I can toggle it that way. So let's say we've got a room which has the north is blocked and the right is blocked. We just go block north and block right. And that chunks in the walls there. So now I've got this little corner like this. Now, this is just an empty room, but maybe this was a more interesting room. Maybe there was treasure in it. Put the coin on there. And then, you know, if there are monsters, toggle it like that. So this is what I used to generate all the various icons. It didn't actually take that long to do once I had this set up. The hardest part was my amazing pixel art skills here, as you can see. I guess I could quickly show off what all the various icons are, actually. So you have empty, statue, the tome. This is probably the hardest one to draw. Treasure, boss, stairs down. I'm kind of using the dark gray to indicate the wall behind the stairs, and then stairs up. Oops. Yeah, you can see that there's no wall there. So it's just to make these two a little bit more distinct from each other. I don't know. Instead of just using an arrow or something, I could have just done that as well. But I think that once you've played the game, like this should be pretty obvious which one is which. But yeah, and then I've also got this, which is what it will look like when you are in that location, but this is actually just a separate icon entirely. Now, I chose to make combined elements instead of having, because the other way I could have done it is I could have had, okay, we'll get rid of the location. We could have had the walls and the floor. I could have just had this as the default for every room and then add a bunch of images for these, so that you would draw this image plus this image, and then also, let's say there's a book, you'd also draw this image as well. And that would have saved me quite a bit of work, because I would have only needed, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 different templates, or 12 if I wanted to have with monsters and without monsters. Right? So I would have had 10 or 12, 11 or 12 different images instead of several hundred. The reason I didn't do it that way, discard changes, that's fine, is that I don't, is actually for optimization. I'm not sure how well RPG Maker can handle drawing, 300 images at once on the screen. I don't know, like I don't know how well it would handle that. Assuming that it could handle that fine, that would actually be the easier way of doing it. But this is, I guess it's more space intensive, but it's going to be less resource intensive in game. So, yeah, it is kind of annoying, but I got them all done, so. It does also mean, though, that coding-wise, again, this is going to be a huge pain because we're going to have to find the right room, and that's the part that's going to take forever. So, coding is sometimes like that. At least generating them was super fast, as you saw. All right, so from here, game variables, dot set value, where were we? We have obtained the variable in the index. We have used the variable in the index to extract what our blockages are. So now we want to, do we need, yeah, we need temp, we still need temp. Control variable, get room ID, current location, okay, is equal to map ID. Map ID minus, oops, not minus -3, minus +3. -3, because cave entrance is 4, but it's coded as 1 in-game. But 4 in the hard code here. Okay, and again, just to make sure, this is where I'm going to include in the variables of this document is which ones are actually free variables that I can be reusing like this. I think that that was a temp variable. If I go to Dentown, no, not the pictures. What is this? Current location 7. Right, I'm using variable 7, not in the generation. I'm using it in the map ID. Yep. Okay. And again, we're doing map ID -3 every single time. I could almost make that into a common event, but I feel like that might be going a little bit overboard. Especially since this is going to change if I do another 20 rooms for the second level of the dungeon. Then it'll be -23 instead of just -3. So, assuming that I don't add any other rooms for shops or anything in the town in the meantime. So, yeah, anyway, 7 is current location on the map. This is calculated in the moment. That's what we're using it for, so we can calculate it in the moment again. We're totally okay. Current map equals this. Okay, yep. So current map location is just equal to map ID. So this tells us what kind of room we are in. Okay, we don't have any monsters at the moment, so now we're just going to do conditional branch if, not conditional switch, conditional variable, if, I think it's gonna, it doesn't really matter, it's just for organizational purposes. I think I'm going to start with the rooms. That's counter. If counter equals 0, well, does counter equal 0? Does that even make any sense? No. Also, it is actually temp, not. If counter equals 0, that means... Well, that means that there is no blockage, right? That's what it would mean. Because these represent blockage values. Yeah, it can be 0. Okay, so that's fine. If current location equals 3... Sorry, if current location equals 1, this is going to give us This is going to give us the picture. Show picture. There we are. Yeah, there's an entire picture menu. Use that. Okay. Show picture. And this is going to be, yep, picture 1. That's fine. Minimap. This is entrance. So this is going to be stairs up. Now we're going to skip monster for now. This is going to be up. Open. Okay. Origin is upper left, and then direct designation. No, we're doing designation with variables, and this is going to be map X and map Y, because these are what we calculated before. Okay. Because Minimap position calculator does that. Okay. I do want to quickly check something before we get into this. This is also using variable 1 for the Minimap position. Good. I'm pretty sure that how that's relevant is that because this is picture number 1, it will overwrite the previous picture number 1. So if I want different pictures, I have to have the number different for the picture. I'm just going to test that once we have the first one working, just to make sure. But yeah, upper left, and then using the variables, that's fine. Okay, so now current location equals 1, that's what we get. Okay, but if current location equals 2, okay, we're going to create a label here. Done. Minimap drawn. Okay. Jump to label. Oh, we have to actually type it up. Interesting. Jump to label minimap drawn. Okay. Yeah. So we don't want to. We don't want to calculate more than one of these. The reason I'm doing greater than or equal is because some of these are going to have multiple rooms that qualify, and I don't want to have to do an if statement for 3 and for 4. So this way, well, okay, let's finish all the things properly here. This is going to be that's fine, but if it's if this is 1, then that's open. 2 is exit. That's going to be down open. Okay. Down open. This is going to be minimap tome open. This is for greater than or equal to 3. This is going to be greater than or equal to 5, because we're skipping 4. And that's going to be treasure open. All right. Boss is 7. Go up 2. Whoops, that's fine. And here we want minimap boss open. Whoops, we're not doing monsters. Not yet. Teleporter, okay. 8, that's going to be statue. Open. And then everything else is just going to be the generic monsters. So the generic monsters do not get a special icon. They just exist. So greater than or equal to 9. We just go to minimap Open, I think. Yeah, open. Labeling's a little bit unfortunate on those, come to think of it. Maybe I should have done something different. But anyway, okay, so with this set up the way that it currently is, I believe what would happen if we put this event into every single room on the level is that if there were no blockages in any of the 4 exits, it would draw that one particular room correctly on the minimap in the right position and erase everything else because we're constantly doing the same picture over and over. That's a bit unfortunate because that means I have to change the picture number in every single one of these. So obviously it goes without saying. Anybody who's using this method for a minimap, if your minimap is not randomly generated, this is going to be so much easier. Or sorry, if your dungeon isn't random, you have set piece dungeons, this method will be so much easier than what I'm doing. But I'm gonna have to do everything that I just did here for the completely open room. I'm going to have to copy all of this and do it again for rooms that are for every combination of blockages, which there's 16 different combinations for that. And then I'm going to have to go and change all those again for every single room out of 20. Okay, so maybe I should be rethinking my approach here because I'm pretty sure what I have will work, assuming I haven't got a bug anywhere. But it's just, well, it's just going to be a lot of busy work. I wonder if I could have a script that would just change all of these show pictures. If only I could designate this with a variable. That would make things so much easier. If I could designate picture with a variable. But anyway, we've got this working fine. The image. I wonder if there's a way to do that. That might be worth checking. So that's something I'll check. That's something I'll check when I'm doing this on my own. But I do want to just confirm that this is actually working before I end today's session. So I'm going to copy this. I only need to do it one time. I'm going to have to copy this out 16 times. Because we need to do every orientation for the entrance in order to make sure that the entrance is showing up properly. And that'll be fine. So yeah, I'll just do that now. Have fun watching that. I don't know, go do something else for like 20 minutes, I guess. Skip ahead in the video. So I'm just thinking here. In the end, all of this is probably going to go into a common event as well, just to clean up the code a little bit, because this minimap handler is probably only going to look like this, but then it's going to have like common events running everywhere, like common events that are running common events, and that's how code works. A minimap is apparently a much more complicated thing than I initially thought. Okay, so again, temp equals 0. That means no blockages. Okay. Copy. That's what that's referring to. Temp refers to the blockage. We're going to have this go before the minimap drawn. So that if we're drawing in any of these, we don't need to check any of the others, right? That makes sense? Okay. Temp equals 0 means no blockage. Blockage? Blockage is a mass noun, right? Shouldn't be pluralized. Blockages, oh, I'll just leave it, whatever. Again, English plurals, they're a weird thing. Right, because blockages plural would imply that there are multiple different kinds of blockage, which there are not in our current implementation. Okay, so comment before that, that's fine. Then we go here, paste, if temp equals 1. Sure. Temp equals 1 implies are blocked. Okay. Temp equals 1. And just to keep things relatively simple for myself, I'm actually going to delete all of these for now, because I'm only interested in doing the entrance. I'm not interested in accounting for all of these. So hold on. I'm going to have to copy this into each room anyway, because I have to change the picture. I have to change the picture number. So that means I can just assume that this is going to be an open, because this is going to be the, or this is going to be an up, because this is automatically going to be in the entrance. This is the minimap handler for the entrance. Okay, we'll use that note tag there. It does absolutely nothing unless you have a script that reads the note tag. But it lets me have a name that doesn't get cut off, so we'll just do that. This is specifically the entrance minimap handler. Okay, which means I don't actually need to copy all of these every single time. And I don't need to be doing all of these if statements either. I'm just going to have 1, current location equals 1. I don't even need to look for the current location, do I? Because I know what kind of a room it is. Huh. Okay. Okay, so this is looking a lot simpler now. This is nice. I mean, it's still going to be like, you know, 1,000 different lines of code I'm going to have to individually modify, but that's just going to be tedious. That'll be fine. That's the kind of work that I like, you know, just putting a stream of somebody doing an LP or something, and yeah, just go through and do the repetitive work that way, and hope that you don't make any mistakes. So yeah, I'll definitely be, I guess, watching some streams in the near future, so that's exciting. Temp equals 1. Current location. I don't think I need this if statement. I'm going to leave it for now just because I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to format everything still. So I'm just going to worry about modifying the things that I need to be modifying. So this is going to still be 1 because this is room 1. Up. Whoops. Okay. Cancel. R blocked. 1 implies that R is blocked, yes, but that means, based on the way I have the images done, north, left, south, open. And that tag is just so that I can find the thing easy. North, left, south. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, so it's not too bad. Temp equals 2. This implies north, right, south is open because left is blocked. So north, right, south. Okay. Good. Now I have to change this. So yeah, because I'm copying the comments, this is actually going to give myself a little bit more work, but that's okay. Because, well, I don't have really long lists anymore, so I might not actually need these comments, but we'll leave it as it is for now. Oops, right, because I need to modify this anyway. Yeah, the comment's useful because, okay, we're leaving the comment in. If temp equals 3, this implies left and right are blocked, so north and south are open. So we're looking for up, north, south. Okay, 4. 4 implies that only the south is blocked. So it's going to be north, left, right. 4. Whoops, north, left, right. Okay, good. Yeah, it's not too bad. 5 implies south and right are blocked, so it's going to be north, left. This is also a way for me to double check that I did all of these images correctly as I'm going here. All right, 6. Now that'll be north and south and left blocked, so north and right will be open. Again, if this is organized a bit better, I would have used a different naming scheme. But this is what I've got. So was this north, right? Yep. Good. Temp 7 means that south, left, and north are all south, left, and right are all blocked, so only north is open. And this is going to be, yep, there we go. Temp 8, that's implying that only the north is blocked. So this is going to be left, right, south, open. And here I need left, right. Left, right, south. Good, we're half done. Half done. Half done, we'll just save just to make sure. Okay, 9. North and right are blocked. This is going to be south and left open. I guess I never explained what these numbers actually mean, but if you saw the previous part, you'll know, and if you haven't, well, you've probably figured it out by now, so no reason to really get into that again. But I don't really have much else to talk about, so maybe I will anyway. 10 is north and left, because these variables are basically referring to which passages are blocked. That's how I've saved everything into the array, so that way I can have a single variable with all 16 possibilities saved within the array. And it's just to save me having to do a bunch of different arrays. What am I doing? 10. I'm on 10. This is why I don't talk. Don't talk and code at the same time. So this is south-right, which means that... Sorry, north and left are blocked. So south and right are open. Yep, that seems right. So here, going up to 10. And this is going to be right, south? Yes, okay. I got distracted by things I was saying. Okay, 11, which is 8, 2, and 1. So only south is open. Up south, okay. Okay, 12 means left and right are both open. Left and right are both open. This is going to be MM up, left, right. Okay. 13. There's going to be 12, 13. So this is only left is open. Good. Oops. 14. 14, 8. 14, just going to be only right is open. Up. R, okay. Good, and we are done, actually. We could just stop there. I'm going to do 15, just in case I decide to use it in the future. It's going to be all blocked. Currently, there's no possible way for this to actually be spawned in the game. But it was closed. Okay. But it was easy enough to make when I was generating all of my icons. So I have it there. And because it goes from 0 to 15, so that is 16 possibilities, one of which can't be used. So I think, unless I did something wrong, which I probably did, as soon as I go into this door, nothing is going to happen. See, I caught myself. Action. Auto run. There we go. Now control self switch A. New event page. Self switch A. Okay. There we go. Now it will actually run. Provided I haven't done anything wrong, as soon as we step through this door, this green rectangle should be replaced with a mini map, which I haven't centered it yet, because that's going to be an additional complication that I'm going to deal with in the future. So I guess this mini map's going to be a two-parter. But yeah, we're going to get a position in here to pop up with the entrance, hopefully. Nothing happened. It did erase the previous image, though. Okay. Well, that's a cause for concern. What could be causing the issue? We have our blockages being set up, and then it's randomizing them, it's calculating them. Are these auto-running? Okay, let's check something. Show text. Minimap handler. Okay. Copy. Show text. Level 1 initialization. Okay. Which one of these runs first? I think it'll do them in order in ID order from low to high. Okay, so the minimap is still up. Minimap handler runs first. Okay, that is good to know. That is very good to know. So minimap handler is running. Level 1 initialization is running. Hey, wait, why did this show up this time? Is it going to disappear as soon as I hit enter? It didn't show up last time, right? It didn't show up last time. Wait, no. Okay, right. No, that makes sense. It makes sense that it didn't show up last time because we didn't have... Wait, no, it doesn't. We didn't have a blockage array last time, but we also didn't this time. So why did it actually run this time? Was there an issue with it running both of these things simultaneously? I am aware that this is wrong. I'm not concerned about that at all at this point because the blockages were run after. So as far as this thing's concerned, this is an unblocked room. In fact, if I could undo, well, we can just redo. There's that. The blockages in that room shouldn't have showed up. Yeah, see, all 4 exits are open. Then we do this. Level 1 initialization runs, and then it blocks. Yeah, okay. I did put this in a different position this time, so that's good. So, and it is roughly where I wanted it to be. Okay, a few more things to check. A few more things to check here before we get into too much extra work. So Minimap picture. We can't go down to 0. Okay, so it is overwriting picture 1. That's good. What we wanted it to do. We're gonna put this in 21. So now, is picture 1 or is picture 21 going to have precedence? Well, we have a problem. It should not be. That should not be possible. It should be. It should be here. Okay, that tells me. I'm going to run this a few more times. I'm testing now to see if the X is okay. Okay, and actually we appear to be right where we are. Okay, confirmed 21. So later images right over top of earlier images. Because even though this was the first image that we had drawn, we drew this one next, but then they layered themselves from 1 to 21. So 1 goes underneath, 20 goes... Otherwise this would be dark instead of with the green transparency. Okay. So we appear to be in the top left corner. That's cool. But my suspicion here is that Y is doing something wrong. We're going to run this a few more times. Like I said, get some data. Y is way out of place. X is reasonable. This would be... it's assuming I calculated the size of this thing correctly. There is that possibility. Because this doesn't look like it's 5 across. Okay, well there's a way to check that as well. Here we have show picture, copy, paste. Whoops, let's just go to image 1. Boss closed. Okay, we're just gonna tile this a whole bunch of times. Direct designation is that. That's fine. Opacity 255. Yeah, that's the maximum. Okay, so we're gonna do that. What did we say the scale was on these? They are 100 across and 64 down, right? So we'll go 700. Y is going to be 64 plus. That's going to be 64. Well, that's not right. I totally misread this. Well, let's go. Okay, well, I'm just going to do it at this point. Good. So this would be 88, I believe. But that is so wrong because these things are not even close to that. They are 20 by 16. is the scale that I'm using. Yeah, because the way I set this up, this should be here. So these are 20 by 16, and I might have doubled it, so they might be 40 by 32. Okay, this is... So we're actually going to go 620. And it was 24 plus 16 is going to be 40. Okay, is this where we want it to be? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So I was originally trying to draw them 20 by 16, and then it just yeah, every single room was like this little corner, and I was like, that's too small. Nobody wants a mini map that's that small. Especially when I'm trying to put icons and stuff on it. So I ended up doubling my initial size. So yeah, 20 by 16 doubled is going to be 40. Another 20 here. Whoops. Yeah, and another 16 here puts us up to 56. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's what we want. So I'm surprised X... Have we just always... Ah. Okay, it's all coming together. I'm just always getting the first or the second row here, and that's why it keeps showing up. When there was no minimap icon at all, it's because it was way off the edge of the screen. Okay. Okay, we got it figured out. There's nothing wrong. Well, there's only one thing that's wrong. We're actually doing okay here, so that's good. So this calculation is what is wrong. Rooms are 100 pixels by 64 pixels. No, they're not. That's the dimension of the entire minimap. Sorry, that is half the dimension of the entire minimap. So this is 40. And this is going to be 16 times 2 is 32. Right, because there's only 4 of those, so that would be, yeah, 50% as opposed to 40%. Okay, rooms are 40 pixels by 32 pixels on the minimap. That means this equation should be 40. This equation should be 32. Okay, I haven't saved this in a while either. We'll do that. So I go into here. Minimap handler is where I actually want to be. Minimap handler. We want this to be 40, and we want this to be 32. Okay. So times 100 should be times 40. And times 64 should be times 32. Okay. Got a scaling issue here. I'm not really much of an art person, so this is kind of interesting for me. I am a math person. I can understand the numbers behind it, but this is essentially me having a math and art hybrid project, and it's with what I'm doing at the moment. And yeah, it's an interesting issue I hadn't considered before. Okay, so now minimap handler is within the bounds of the minimap, and that looks very much like it would be, yeah, okay, I can believe that this would be 5 across and 4 up and down. Okay. Yep, looks good to me. Looks good to me. Okay. So that's been fixed. So if we go back to the surface, this is... Okay, these are no longer necessary. I'm still going to keep the minimap backdrop up just so that we have that, just because it's a nice reference. And in fact, I might even in the final game eventually have some sort of parchment texture, and maybe even expand it slightly, like a couple pixels around all sides, so that you have the minimap being put onto a parchment looking thing. That could be a cool little touch I could do. But that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. So I've gotten rid of those 2 images, but I need to go into the entrance, and I need to fix this. So the problem is that ID 6 plays before ID 5. No, it doesn't. Interesting. Okay. I was right. They do play in order. It's just that this was... The problem was that I had an extra event. Okay, copy, paste, 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 copy, paste, paste, paste. So now I have, yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. So the problem is that there was a gap in the event list. That was the issue. So now I'm going to delete these. So now copy. This should be event 6. Yes, okay. And I'm going to copy this. This should be event 7. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know the exact order of all those. 6, 7, 8. Is there an event 0? That what's going on? Oh no, there's an event 8. That's what's going on. Okay. Wait. Right. Okay, okay. Yeah, level 1 initialization. This is for the entire level. Because if we look at other rooms, we're not copying that. Okay. So let's move this here. I don't like having it right in the corner. Although that means I should move all these over if I want to be consistent. So whatever. They'll just start from left to right, and that'll just be... I'll just live with them not being all lined up nicely. So this is event 6 here is the initialization, which determines where the walls are randomized, are blocked. And then this is the blockage initialization for this specific room, which was still after this anyway. Okay, I don't need these texts anymore. Yep, okay. So I need to essentially swap these. So you're 7. And you're 8. No. I need to swap their IDs. I need you to be 7 and the other one to be 8. Okay, well that's easy enough. I just copy, paste, paste, copy, paste, paste, just to make sure that I'm over where I need to be. Yep, so we've got room initialization and we've got event editor. Copy, paste, copy, paste. You are now event 7. You are now event 8. Alternatively, I could have had it set so that this would only run once this one was finished, and then had this one set a switch to say that it was finished, and this one would check that switch. That would have been another way I could do this. Okay, that should... That should get them in the right order. Yes, okay. So now it actually has blockages, but it only has some blockages. And it's completely wrong. The image is completely wrong. Okay. We can confirm the 9th position. We're going to talk to the boy and confirm that this is the right position on the minimap. It should be number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Okay, so I think my coordinates on the minimap are correct. I think I have the minimap working. In fact, we're just going to test it one more time while I'm thinking about it. So we just need to fix at this point. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. I would like to get the X in a different, or the Y in a different row on one of these tests. Nope. Y in a different row, please. There we go. So that's going to be number 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, good. Yep. So I'm reasonably certain that the minimap is working. The only issue at this point is that it's not choosing the right image for the blockages. So there's a couple of places that could be wrong. I could have put it in, I could be grabbing the wrong image. That's a possibility. I could be calculating blockages. I could be calculating blockage differently than I expected myself to be doing. So 6, 7, 8. The minimap handler is definitely running after the other two because it is not just giving me open rooms anymore. It's assuming that the rooms are actually blocked. Okay, so now let's look at the blockage code again. Default array. For each blocked wall, we add the value to the number. So 10 implies north and left are blocked. Okay. Then we do blockage initialization, which is cancel. No, then we do interior wall randomizer is the next thing that we do. Interior wall randomizer, right? We have 6 different possibilities, and then we're adding in additional blockages based on this. Okay. So as expected, I'm pretty sure the blockage is actually working as intended. And that makes sense because we didn't have any issues with the blockage at all the previous time that we did this in that particular episode. So now we're troubleshooting. We are troubleshooting I guess it is using this still. The blockages here. Okay, so array of blockages in rooms is wall randomizer. Is that actually modifying? Yes, it's modifying the array. We're taking the element and we're modifying the array. So the element in the array should be different at this time. 0 is no blockage. This is correct. It is only drawing, well, I don't know that it's only drawing one image because it doesn't pause in between all of these, but I'm pretty sure that's working as intended. Right, if temp equals 0. So what is temp? Variable 1 is taking the blockage value. Right. So if it's 0, there's no blockage. The map ID and the -3 is always working as intended. So that tells me that if temp equals 1, temp is the blockage. Right. All right, current location. Okay, yep, that's right. Temp is the blockage. 1 saying the right is blocked, north, left, south should not be should be open. North, left, south. North, right, south. North, right, south. Okay. 3, north, south. North, south. 4, south is blocked, north, left, right. North, left, right. 5, north and left are open, north, left. 6, north and right are open, north, right. 7, everything is blocked except for north, north is open. 8 is the opposite of that, left, right, south. Yeah. 9 is going to be left, south, left, south. 10 is right, south, and it is. 11 is just south. 12 is left and right, yes, and right. 13, just the right. No, 13. L. 8, 12, 13. Just the left, just the left. 14, 8, 12, 14, just the right. 15, all blocked. Okay. Okay. So there's something going on with my images. I'm assuming, like, the other thing I could be checking is that the images are right. I'm pretty sure they are, though. Whoops. We want up. Closed. Yes. Left. You know what? I could probably just do this, couldn't I? Open. North, left, south. North, right. North, right, south. North, south. Open. Right. Right, south. South. Closed. Left. Left, right. Left, right, south. Left, south. North. North, left. North, right. They're all correct. Okay, so the other thing about auto-run, the auto-runs starts when the event appears, but it only runs one of these events at a time until it's completely finished. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So why is this? Okay, temp is going to be blockage. So let's add show text blockage. What are we getting here? Oops, we want backslash v backslash v 1. Oops, 1, because that's temp. Blockage. Yep. Temp is variable. Something I don't like is how the variables don't actually show their value. I could actually just put 1.temp, I suppose, as the variable name. Okay, well now it should play. What is the expected blockage? 11. Okay, if we refer to our chart here, 11 is only south is open. Okay. Well, that's a problem. Only south is open. Okay. So why is it getting a value of 11? I guess that's the question to be looking at here. So we're starting with a value, and we're going to interior wall randomizer. Interior wall randomizer is only going to run one of these blocks, and in each of these blocks, it's modifying the image one time. Okay, then we have blockage initialization. Okay, what are we doing in this? Blockage initialization. We aren't actually modifying variable 21 at any point in this calculation, are we? No. We modify variable 6. That's the only thing that we do. We modify variable 6. Yeah. We're just modifying variable 6. Okay. This part seems to be going fine. Here we're modifying variable 6 again. Is that causing an issue? Blockage initialization. Yeah, I'm not doing anything in here. Internal wall randomizer, I'm not doing anything in here. It's finding the right location. Okay, there's a few more things we can do for testing then. So here, show text. Do I have? Yeah, I do have that file here. Well, I can bring it up. That should be fine. I believe it was here. I have Den of Fortune. Documents, pictures. Where would this be? Downloads. Yes. Okay, we found it. So we're just gonna play the variable at the start of this. Okay. So with that information and the level 1 blockage array going to be 21. Okay. Good. Six. Okay, we're using this. Blockage equals 12. And we're here. What should the value of blockage be here? Blockage should be 8. 12, 14, right? Blockage should be 14. Okay, that's a problem. I mean, we are getting this done correctly. Why is it not giving me the right value? I mean, it must be giving me the right value because it's calculating this things, which is the same variable. Okay, if we go up here, level 1 array, I don't actually care about that. Okay, so if I could just put, oops, don't do that. Just put this off to the side here. 10. This room is blocked on north and left. 10. This room is blocked on north. 8. North and south. 12. North and south. 12. North and right. 9. I'm just going to do the first 10. Blocked on the left. 2. Blocked on south and right. South and right is 5. Good. Blocked on everything except for right. That's going to be 8, 12, 14. Got a 14 here. We have a 14 here. But it said it was a 12 when we were in here. Okay. Okay, there is something else we can try. That is to make absolutely certain, switch minimap okay. It's a terrible name. Permission to write minimap. Well, let's put minimap permission. There we go. Minimap permission is on. That is required for this to happen. Okay. Then we go to this. And we say control switch 5, minimap permission on. So it's not going to turn on the minimap permission until it's done all of the calculations. Okay, whatever. Blockage is 11. 11 is north, left, and right. I see that this is different. That's cause for concern. That's the exact opposite of what we got. So something's going wrong. Do I just have this opposite? Is that what the issue is? Maybe I've just confused myself somewhere else and I've had opposite minimaps this whole time. 4, that should be south blocked. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Blockage is 8, which is only north. Nope. Oh, sorry, which is only north is open. Nope, there's another issue going on. Okay. So what does that imply? That implies map position calculator, which outputs 2, outputs variable 2, which is the index. And we use variable 2 in the index. Am I just doing something wrong here? Is this not right? Okay, let's look at minimap position calculator. That's the only other place this could be causing a problem. Find room position in array. I mean, no, this is working correctly for finding me on the map. Well, I haven't actually run around in a level to make sure that we are actually calculating the right position every time here. So let's do that. Okay, so if we are in fact in that position, then we shouldn't be able to go any further left or south from there. Go north. Yep, that's 4. Now directly north of it. We go south. South. And this should lead us back to the stairs. Yep. And we couldn't go anywhere else, but let's just make sure that this does in fact go 2 rooms over more. 1 and 2, and then it's a corner, and then we have another corner down. Well, that's a dead end, but yeah, we'll get to the other corner. Okay, minimap position seems pretty darn good to me. Wasn't sure where I was going there. Okay. Minimap is in the correct spot. So the only other thing I can think of is that I've done something really awful with the way that I'm using my array here. Okay, blockage initialization. Carries over destination map ID. Right, so this gives you the ID of the map that you're moving onto. Blockage initialization gives me that. That value. Array index, okay. Do not find current room ID, okay. Right, so this is calculating the destination location. So we're getting the current room ID. We're getting our current room ID. I'm just going to say it over and over to myself until I understand what's actually happening here. We're getting current room ID, array index is telling us where in the index we are, and then when we do blockage initialization for the room, the blockage initialization is extracting the correct values. Right, but this shouldn't even matter because this isn't even happening at all. Until, wait a minute, when do we initialize this one? Okay. We're getting the location. There's a couple of things I could be checking here. A couple of ways I could be checking this. A couple more tests that I could run. Like if it's just an issue with the entrance, I could have it set so that the exit is also drawn. I think that's what I'm going to do. Instead of checking around at the entrance, because the entrance seems to be working okay. So just to make sure, go into here. We auto run when we have permission to draw, which I don't think we need. And which didn't help, so let's actually just get rid of that. Well, no, we'll leave it on for now. Okay, so we have this whole event. Apply, okay. So we're gonna copy this, exit, paste. This is exit. If current location equals 2, yeah, that's fine. Yep, this is all should be the same. This variable is wrong for some reason. I think I just found it. It's that 1 to 20 versus 0 to 19 issue again. We are grabbing from the wrong location. Yes, we're in the exit. We're just going to delete this because I don't think we need to mess with that. We're in the wrong location. So what's happening here? Okay. I think we're grabbing the minimap entry. Yeah, so if we, well, I was going to say the room to the right, but then the room to the right shouldn't have an opening there. Who knows? Does this fact right? And this room, which would be the other way, wouldn't have an opening there either. I don't know, but I'm going to. So thinking about this, current location equals map ID. Current location -3. Did I just never... Right, no, because current location, never mind. I thought I found something and I don't think I did. Current location, again, is telling us where we are here. It has nothing to do with the blockage script. The blockage script is being calculated from minimap position calculator. And then we're drawing variable 2, which is the index in the array that it grabs for us. And we're setting variable 1 to be blockage. Okay, let's... Okay, we don't need that anymore. Blockage for 6 should be 2. Blockage for... Oops, what am I doing? Blockage for 6 should be 2. If we go here, it will be 2. The 6th element in this array will be 2. Yep. That's working just fine. Common events. Right, we don't need that anymore. That's not being used here. Okay, so... Okay, let's try something else. Let's try... We still need minimap permission. We gain minimap permission by talking to the boy. Now, we're going to go here. It says randomly generated everything. So the entrance should have a value of 11. If I talk to the boy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the 8th element should be an 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an 11. Okay. Now we should have permission to draw the minimap when I come here. Blockage is 12. Okay, so there's something wrong. And blockage is 12 means the north and south will be blocked, so it'll have left and right. And it'll do that. Okay. Yep, that is in position 8. Okay, so absolutely the issue is that somehow we're drawing the wrong number from the array. The array has the right number, we're just not reading the right number. Okay. So here, set variables, set value 1 equals this value. Okay, do I have... find room position in array. If I just run this is fine, right? This code works. Returns 2. Technically, it's also returning 6. Oh no, that's just in the array. Comparing it to temp. So okay. So at the very end of this then, let's have a text. Show text. V2. That means that at the very end of this, this should be the position in the array, right? Position in array. Okay. So is this where we have the issue? Talk to the boy. Whatever. Position in array is 14. 5, 10, 14. Right. And that's from 0 to 14, so it'll be the 15th element. Right, because we've confirmed that the position on the minimap is correct. So we have our value here, position in array. Minimap position counter plus equals 1. Plus equals 1. So we're taking, in that case, we took 14, we added 1 to make 15. Then we calculated its position based on that. The position was calculated correctly. Okay. We're using the minimap position calculator to set map X and map Y. But then find room position in array. Let's just do this again. This should output 2 again, right? Is that going to fix anything? Nope. Also, it seems to be giving us this. Well, it's given us several different values. It seems to be giving us that an awful lot, though. Okay, that wasn't the issue. Well, maybe we'll start with some debugging next time, because this has been quite long, and I'm just not seeing it at the moment. So I'm gonna have to take some rest and go back and do the rest of the debugging at another time, I guess. Because I'm just not seeing what I should be doing. Yeah, this shouldn't be making any difference at all. Minimap position calculator finds the value. Finds room position in array. So we are adding again. I just want to double check this one more time. Room position in array. What this is doing is it's taking we're using 11 here. Which is fine for calculating our position. Right, because this is we're grabbing the index. We're not grabbing the value of the array. We're grabbing the index. Sorry, the position in that array, and then we're using that to read into the other array. So 6 equals whatever. This is just taking the values from the array. Because what this is doing is this is counting up. Counter starts at 0. Counter starts at 0, which is this position. If this equals, if in this position map ID minus 3, which is 1 to 20, equals the value at position 0, then we break the loop, which is what we want. Yeah, so that should be working. That should be working as intended. Then we add 1 to it. Check the next one. Check the next one. If counter equals 20, this is 19. 20 would be the next line. That's out of the range. You've never gotten that far. Okay, so this should be returning the correct value of the array. Then, but again, because we're calculating the minimap correctly, so this should be working. Like the position on the minimap correctly. Here, we find the room. Okay, we found it. And that is outputting variable 2, which is counter, which is the index of the array. We're adding 1 to it to convert from 0 to 19, from 0 to 19 to 2 to from 0 to 19 to 1 to 20. Because that's what we're using for these calculations. And everything works fine. So the problem with this is that now variable 2 is 1 higher than it should be. Right? Because it's no longer referring to the correct index. So if I look at here, minimap position calculator, it does this, it adds 1 to it. But then if I run this again, if I run this again after, it's going to start over again by calculating the map ID, which it should be doing, going minus 3, etc. Minus 3, counter equals 0, iterate through the array, find the correct room, find common event. So at this point, so index plus 1 equals, and this is variable 2. And then here, well, oh, that's fine. We'll just do it this way. Index equals variable 2. So this will confirm that I was correct in running this a second time to change it so that this is fixed. This is the variable 2 should be what the index is. Okay. So now we can see if there's a problem in this part of the code. Okay, what value am I expecting? I'm expecting 1 to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Position in array 8. Okay. Again, we have a calculation showing that already, so it's fine. Index plus 1 is 9. Position in array 8. Good. Index 8. Okay. Index is 8. The blockage is wrong. So at this point, the code is correct. So is it this line that's wrong? Okay, I don't need these. Blockage. Array. Variable 21. Okay. So this is grabbing the value here. Okay. This should tell me all of the variables that are being used here. I don't think we need to. Okay, I don't need to look at those just yet. Or I think at all. Position array is 13. Okay. Blockage array. 2, 3, 4. I should have done it on a separate line, but that's okay. 13 is 4. What? Also, should it be 4? 4 is only south blocked, but north is also blocked. That's a cause for concern. We're going to run that one more time just to make sure that I'm not just imagining things here. Right, I can move you back so I don't have to do all this running anymore. Position in array is 0. Okay. Blockage array, position 0 is 10. Blockage is 11. 8, 10. 8, 10. 10 is correct. 11. This should be blocked as well to get this. So what is going wrong here? Why? It has to be this, right? This has to be what's going wrong. I am going to do this again. This time I'm checking the values of the blockage to either side of the array. Position in array is 2. Okay, 0, 1, 2. 9. Is the blockage going to be 12 or 14? 9, and it worked. Okay, check it again, because it shouldn't have done that. Okay, I saw that the 1 is quite far along. That's unfortunate. 11. 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3, but it's also 3 on either side of it. Blockage is 12. Blockage is 12. Okay. Blockage is 12. There are 12s in this array. Why would it be used grabbing variable 2 or variable 3? Oh my god. Did I really do that? It's been grabbing variable 2 every single time. Okay, got it. Game variables dot value 2. Wow. Okay. That should fix everything. Well, wasn't that an exciting video? Okay, you know what? I don't even want to walk around anymore, so we're going to get rid of that. Okay, we got rid of it there. Dentown, you. Get rid of that. I guess it doesn't matter if you have that or not. This should just run now, right? Okay, it looks good. Let's get rid of all of these texts. Yeah, we don't need this. We don't need this. And in the minimap position calculator, we have another text, right? Or was it in here? It was here, yep. Complete that, because we run it twice. And then we'll just run into the entrance like 4 more times, and just make sure that the minimap is matching our expectations on every run. Here we go. Yeah, we have to actually leave and play again. Good. As frustrating as this was, it does feel pretty good to see. Yeah, like this is a working solution now. Okay. Yeah, good. Everything is working. See, everything was working the way it was intended. It's just I always forget on the array indice that 2 is saying use value 2 in the array, which is 0, 1, 2. It's the third element. As opposed to, if you're going to use a variable to call that, you obviously have to say that you're using a variable. Like, it's so obvious, but it's something I overlook. Okay, so was that what, an hour and a half of troubleshooting in order to do it? But anyway, again, the lessons were learned. Everything seems to be okay. I'm gonna look up if there is a script call that will allow me to that will allow me to do picture numbers. In fact, actually, I was going to say I was just going to do that off camera and figure out, but I have this thing open right here, don't I? Script calls. Okay, event page 1. Well, let's... where is it? It's 2, okay. Cancel, cancel. We want event page 2, so let's keep going. Event page 2. Picture. Picture, picture. Okay, if I can just get this to work right now, I might not actually need to do this between parts. Erase pictures for variables. Okay, this is code saying delete all 100 pictures, I guess. Is there a 100 picture limit? Is that a thing? Okay, rotate, tint, erase, picture, blend mode, no. Show picture. Picture ID, name, origin, okay. So if I move all of this, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Yeah, you're cutting off a little bit. And well, okay, you know what? Can do it this way then. Fine. Oh hey, I could have just looked here. Okay, show picture. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a show picture command. Now, instead of doing all of this nonsense, if blah blah blah, if blah blah blah, why don't I instead figure out what variables I need? So before I muck around with this, let's copy paste your 8, your 9. Okay, this is going to be backup because I am about to do all sorts of terrible things to event 8. And here, instead of auto run, well, okay, we'll require no, that's just dumb. Action button. Okay, this is just never going to run because you have to hit it with the action. So now I'm just going to basically destroy, okay, we'll keep temp equals 15. That'll be our... So this is what we're working with here. So now, comment, we're going to see what variables do we have. We have variables. We have picture ID. I can't help, but oh, I see. Your picture ID is the number, name is the name. Okay, good. Picture ID, name, origin, X, Y. That's all the ones I care about, right? That's everything I care about. And then we have scale X, scale Y, opacity, and blend mode. And all of those I'm going to set to 0, basically. Yeah. So if I look at that in here, oh, they don't have any examples. Okay, never mind. Well, we're just going to have to figure out what is acceptable syntax at the end of all of this. Okay, so we have a show picture. If we want to replicate this using a script, we are doing $, game screen, which is the screen of the game that's affecting this, I guess. Picture, show picture. And then I'm just going to put everything is a 0 for now. And do we need a semicolon? There is no semicolon here. That causes some concern. I'm going to assume it needs a semicolon because every time you're calling something, it seems to call semicolon. They just omitted it. Okay. So this is what we're doing. So now what we do here is we want this, so we're going to go 1. Name is going to be mm_up_closed. Upper left. Can I just do that? Is that going to work? Just say upper left. Okay, map X and map Y. These are game values 9 and 10, I believe. If I go control variables 9 and 10, yep. So we want, for calling a variable, instead of doing this hard coding, we're going to want nine and 10 here. So I'm pretty sure that you can do enter, it's just white space, that's fine. These other 4 are going to be 100%, 100%, 255, and normal. Probably 100, 100 if I had to guess. 255 and normal. Okay. Now the issue that I'm going to have with this is if upper left and normal have special names, this is not going to work. I might need to do like 1, like probably doing a number instead of a name. If I had to guess, that's going to be the issue. But okay, we don't need this. We don't need the label anymore. Do we need this? No, not really. Because this is just this with well, it tells me what everything is. So let's do a comment. Oh, unfortunately I can't copy this into the comment, can I? No. Okay, well, we'll just do a comment then. Show picture. Is there space there? I think there is. Although that won't matter. mm_up_closed, comma, upper left. Map X, map Y. This is all just for my own reference in the future. Comma 100%, comma 100%. Oops. Comma goes on the outside. 255, comma normal. Okay. And then because it has that extra space, Because it has that extra space, we're just gonna put an enter here. Okay. Everything is the same. That's my reference. Okay, so if I do this, what am I expecting to have happen now? I'm going to be ignoring all of this. I'm expecting the game to crash, honestly, or to complain. Okay, good start. Yes, we sure are. Wait. No, we're not. Show picture. Okay, maybe that threw it off. Maybe the enter did cause a problem. No, maybe not. Like, just to confirm, if I delete this, there's no problem, right? Yep, there's no problem. Okay. So it is that one line of code specifically that's the problem. You know what? I think the information here isn't very consistent. So again, I am actually gonna look this one up. I'll go to the forums and ask for help maybe if I can't find anything, and then we will fix everything in the next part, in the next video. What am I even doing? There we go. I pasted that back in. There appears to be a parentheses issue. We got these ones are closed, those ones are closed. This one matches that one. Yep, everything seems to match up. So there's an issue with one of the arguments in the code itself. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but it's been 3 hours. It's enough. It's enough for now. So yeah, we'll finish up the minimap, I guess, in the next part. I will see you then.